How do you know what you're doing is in the right direction? If you're wondering if you're on the right path, look at the small things of life. How do you do that?
You don't.
When you wash your car,
Most
spend an
don't.
hour washing your car. You finish washing, you put the hoses and everything away, the brushes, you come outside, you can look at the job you did, but you notice the spot's missing. What do? Do you re-grab the hose and pull it all out and finish the job right, or do you say, you know, it's good enough? That's good enough. So the thing about good enough is we don't know if it's enough. Until the nth hour, the final hour, and everything's on the line. That's when we find out if it is enough. And if we come up short, man, doesn't that suck? I promise you guys, if today you never say good enough, tomorrow you'll always have enough. What I'm saying is the character of who you are. It's not the title that makes you, it's not the success that makes you. The character defines the success, defines the thing, and it starts right there. Championships aren't won in the theater of the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, in the labs, in the 5 a.m. runs, and the training, and everyone else is sleeping. That's when it's won. The heart of a champion is a light switch that's always on. It doesn't go on and off when someone's watching. It's constant. It's how you look at something. If your name's attached to it, and you do it right, the best of your ability every single time. If you're dusting your countertops, do you dust around the picture frame? Or do you pick the up and dust the entire thing? Do the job right or don't do it at all. That's the same person who has his hand raised on the podium one day. Same motherfuckers. How you hold yourself in the small things of life. Build the character winning blocks of the things that we'll remember for. I see them as one and one the same, guys. It begins right now with no one looking, man. And how do you hold yourself? How do you see yourself? What do you do when no one's watching? If you do it then, I guarantee you, you'll be doing it now. How do you stay true to the course when that course could be 5 years, 10 years? How do you stay true to the path, man? Well, it's a real quick answer to a very complicated question. You don't burn out mentally because you always burn out physically. When you guys burn out physically, you push your current limitations to a new barrier, do you not? You hit failure and you go beyond. You force your body to create demand to grow even more. By burning out physically, you ensure that you grow physically. If you don't burn out physically, and even though you go to the gym, you put your time in there, you check the box, yeah, I went to the gym, man, all good. You come back around, you look in the mirror, man, I'm not seeing anything, I'm not seeing any changing, no. Well, because you haven't pushed yourself for your body to have a reason to change. If I gave a valiant effort to something, day in, day out, I saw no change, I'd probably quit too. But the reason why you're quitting, man, the reason why mentally you're burning out, is because you're not burning out physically. It's that mind-body connection of invincibility when you sync them up, guys. Every transformation always gets worse before it gets better. It's supposed to be that way. The journey is not easy. Before you start that journey mentally, you must fuel yourself with the right reasons, the right fuel to sustain the entire journey. Everyone's hot off the start, but after a month or so into it, or a couple weeks into it, where the wear and tear and the grind starts to hit you, you start losing focus on the horizon, do you not? You get caught away in the daily hiccups, the ups and downs, and the wear and tear. And you focus on the speed bumps and the daily activities, losing sight of the true purpose. When you lose sight of the purpose, you get too much value of what the pain is today. We always invest today, sacrifice today for tomorrow's betterment. But if we don't know what that betterment is, the want factor, what we're really doing it for, we can't win this war, guys. Once you find out you want, regardless of what it is, then you combine the mind and the body together. That's when life gets exciting, guys. Stories of inspiration where the person overcomes the odds. When you see the good, man, pump the brakes. Put your hands together, man. Give credit where it's due. Remember the name of the person that overcame the odds. Because that same person you're going to use in your own battle one day. When you hit rock bottom and you feel like the walls and monkeys on your back and Murphy's hitting you down every single step. You're going to use that inspiration to take that one more step forward that makes all the difference. Let me give you a few examples of these. Of people that overcome the odds. This kid couldn't speak. Everyone else in his peer group speaking all good. He couldn't speak. At age 7, everyone's reading and talking. He can't read. He was slowing down so much. The teachers brought his parents in, man. He said, dude, the kid's got to go, man. He's just slow. He's not creative. He's slowing down the betterment of the entire class. Got to go. Parents brought him home and said, man, what are we going to do with this? It's a child of put in the work. He got fired from every single job he ever tried. All this guy knows up until 21 years old is failure. He's never tasted success. He just gets up and keeps trying, fails. Gets up and keeps trying. Until one day he found out what he wanted, what inspired him. And he gave everything he had, day in, day out, man. He burned the midnight oil, so he didn't have to stay awake in the midnight hours wondering what if. This guy tried something 1,093 times before it was successful. 1,093 times, man. When the hell have you ever tried something more than 10 times before you throw in the towel? I can't say I have. This guy did. And why? That was what he wanted. How was it nourished? Failure. Everything failed in his life. So when it failed 1,000 times, like, well, it, man. It's an average day. It always fails. I keep on going, but I bet you got smarter and quicker. That failure made him more and more successful. It's getting closer and closer and closer. And finally, the light bulb lit. That was Thomas Edison. Failure. Dumbass. Entire life. Get over another 1,000 patents. Mark. You have to be equipped mentally to endure this process. Knowing what you're about to go into is step one. Knowing it's uphill battle. But number one, the one is achievable. At the end of this race, guys, you're looking more capable. First step, guys, is knowing it's a tough road. But through that effort, builds the character of the person you want to be at the end. Part of this journey, you must know that it's going to go down before it comes up. When it comes up, it's going to go so much higher than you've ever been. Sacrifice it today for tomorrow. If you are as sharp as you make the arsenal, but you can't do anything if you don't have confidence in yourself. You all fall down in life. The question is, who gets back? You go after it. You give it all you have. If you lose it, at least you try, man. I failed. It's 10 times more of a man than someone said, what if? Because what if never went to the arena. When you guys find a fear, that fear will either create you or destroy you. I love fear. The reason why? Behind every fear is a person you want to be. Fear is self-imposed, meaning it doesn't exist. You create it, you can destroy it too. It's an intangible. If you face your fears, guys, you will realize it's not that big. And once you face it, you go, oh my God, man, I spent all this time running from it. It was so small. If I just faced it, my God, not only did I face it, I beat it back. Energy is never lost, transferred. That negative energy, that fear, is destroyed. It comes back in its confidence. Like, what else am I capable of? What else am I holding my back from that I'm capable of more? What am I running from I don't need to? What else can I overcome? You face your fears, you become the person you want to be. You run from your fears, you're not living. You're alive, but you're not taking the freedom. You're not running the day. The day's running you. You always be the fucking servant, not the master, guys. If you find a fear, the quickest, the easiest way you can beat it is initially, right when it comes in. If you allow it to sit, it will grow roots and start breaking you down, destroying the potential of the person you can be. Again, the champions, guys. It's not their potential, it's not their genetics. It's their perseverance to always show up, always willing to fail, because in failure, that's part of success. Success is not, a marathon of life with just ups. Success is formulated through failures, through facing your fears, through falling down and getting back up. That's what creates the champion. Success does not define us. We define the success. Someone cares it too, because you battle yourself in perfection. There are going to be days, man, where you drag an ass. There's every excuse in the world why not to go to the gym. Having that partner is going to ensure you get there. We will kid ourselves, man. We will fail all the time on ourselves. But it's a sad motherfucker that fails on someone else's time. Who the fuck? What happened to old Greg, man? This is a new, who's this? That's right. The new motherfucker's here to stay. And get the fucking on my plan or get the fuck out of my way.
How many of you know if you had your life to live over again, you could have done more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. That proves the point that what we do and what we accomplish in life is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for us.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, regardless of how many times you may have failed in the past or how lofty your aims and hopes may be.
We all have goals. The problem, as I've said before in this program, is that we're unconscious in the use of our resources. Most people's goals are to, quote, pay the lousy bills, or to get by, or to survive, or get out of debt, or make it through the day, make their relationship a little better, get a better job. In short, they're caught up in the trap of making a living rather than designing a life.
When I look up at the night sky, and I know that, yes, we are part of this universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us.
I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence. The thrill of fulfillment to the still calming utopia. I will never cower before any master, no bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. Give yourselves a round of applause for having an uncommon desire to reach your goals, to achieve something great with your life.
There's a certain delusional quality that all successful people have to have. All successful people have this belief. They have this understanding that I'm going to do something different than has ever been done before. They have this idea that they're not going to be told what to do because they know where they're going.
Learn to be a champion. Learn how to fight when you're down. Learn how to get up when everyone has given up on you. You have to learn how to go from a moment of time from when you can't see tomorrow. You want to know what it is to be a winner, a champion, to be a gladiator, a warrior. It's going to take time after time of you getting up and fighting again. That's letting you know you will be knocked down, but you can't give up. When people have looked over you, when they say you're out for the count, when they say your life is over, you have to look within. That feeling inside that's telling you that you can get up, that you have another chance, that I will get up before they count me out. While there's breath in your body, show the world that I will be great. I will take my talent to another level. I won't give up. I won't give in. Day after day, I will do better. I will grow. My company will survive. My team will not lose. This ain't about where you started from. You can start from the bottom, right? You could be at the top. Listen, I don't care what kind of talent you have. All right, we can just look through history and see that the most talented teams don't always win, that the most talented people don't always win, that the most intelligent people are not those who always succeed. Are you hearing what I'm saying? What I'm telling you is, when I say you struggle from average, when I tell you you can't get there from average, when I tell you I'm allergic to average, what I'm telling you is that success is not greatness. It's not about talent. It's about effort. You think as a high school dropout, you think somebody that's homeless, eating out of trash cans, living with bad buildings? Huh? You think I got here from talent? No, effort. And you got to learn to give 120%. Your time is here. Your time is now. This may be the only opportunity that you get. So don't waste it. There comes a day in everyone's life where greatness is on the line. Don't mess up this opportunity. Don't let this opportunity pass. Only you know when that opportunity is. It can change your life. It can change your future. It can change your family. The only way for you to reach greatness in your life, the only way for you to reach a goal in your life, the only way for you to reach a dream is to take the opportunity that is given to you. So you must be ready. Don't doubt yourself. If this opportunity was given to you, you can achieve it. If no one else believes in you, you believe in yourself. I don't care how how many times you fail. I don't care how many times you try over and over again. No one else may believe in you. But if you look in the mirror, all you need, that person that's looking back at you, all you need is yourself. Self-motivation is the best motivation. If you can motivate yourself, you can change this world. Whatever you were sent here to do, the opportunity for you to do it is up to you.
Where have you been? Why are you here? And where are you going? You look at your life. You look at what you produce. Is it giving you what you want? Are you living on purpose? Are you living your dream? Are you acting on your ideas? Are you doing all you can do? Have you gotten comfortable? Are you procrastinating? Are you invading your own greatness? Are you surrounding yourself with people that can nourish you? Are you challenging yourself? Are you experimenting? Are you learning something different? Is your life an adventure or is it boring? Why are you here? What brought you here? Investing the time, the money. What brought you here? What decisions are you making right now as you look into the future? Where are you going with your life? I don't care how hard you fail. I don't care how many times you fail the test. I don't care if nobody don't believe in you. It only takes you believing in yourself to get this thing done. As long as you believe in you, you got the right mindset, you got the right attitude, you can have whatever you like. But if you fall, I need you to fall forward. I need you to fail forward. Now, are there going to be some moments when you want to give up? Yes. Will there be some moments when it's going to seem like it's impossible? The pain that you're experiencing, the disappointment that you're experiencing, that you're going to say, it's not worth it? Yes, that's going to be right there for you. It's going to be in your face, telling you to go back. But don't let the distraction distract you. All right, you got to keep moving, don't stop. Separate what you do from who you are. That's what the guilt trap is about. All of us have made some mistakes in life. All of us have done some things that if we had them to do over again, we wouldn't do it again. A lot of things that if I had it to do over again, if I knew then what I know now, I would have done it differently. Well, it didn't happen that way. A lot of us, because of our limited vision of ourselves, a lot of us who begin to focus on problems and enable them to overwhelm us, we begin to think that we have no options. We begin to believe that there's no way out. You can always better your best. You can always go beyond anything that you have ever done. And I'm saying that the fact that you're still here, that you're still breathing, you've got some more work, and you owe it to yourself. So when you get up in the morning, that you can look yourself in the face and say, hey, I'm living my life on my terms.
But I tell you, there are some times in life where you fall down and you feel like you don't have the strength to get back up. Pretend that everything's okay when it's not, and you go home and lay in your bed when no one's looking at you, when you don't have to impress anybody, and fear comes in. You know the fear that you have as soon as you walk into the doors of your house, even if it's a broken home. Maybe you have doubt in your life. Maybe you don't know for sure what's going to be happening in the future, and it scares you. Maybe you're worried about what people think of you, what people say about you. Just that fear paralyzes you. And I just want to ask you today, do you think you have hope?
Right now, you're at the worst place in your life that you've ever been.
believe that this is your beginning, but this doesn't have to be your end. That just because you are currently here, this is your present circumstances, that life don't have to end for you right now.
What is it that will give you the drive? What is it that will ignite the courage in you to get up and come back again and again and again?
Your why. Your why is going to push you when you can't push yourself. When you want to quit and give up, your why is going to give you that edge you need, that advantage you need, that lift that you need to get to the next level. Your why. Yes, we're tired. Yes, we're hungry. Yes, the mind is saying give up. Yes, it's saying quit. But we cannot quit because we realize we have not reached the goal yet. This is not what I said I was going to do. This is what I talked about. This is not the goal. This is not what I dreamed about. This is not what it looks like.
I will try 100 times to get up, and if I fail 100 times, if I fail and I give up, do you think that I'm ever going to get up? No.
So I need you to believe.
If I fail, I try again, and again, and again. For as long as I try, there's always that chance of getting up.
You can decide that you're going to stand up to life.
It's not the end until you've given up. It's still good.
You're going to work through this. You're going to get up. You're going to get dressed. You're going to get out. And you're going to do what you've been called to do. You're going to be what you called to. You're going to have, and you're going to prove that everybody that tried to break you, everybody that tried to stop you, everybody that tried to kill your dream, you're going to prove all of them wrong. I use the pain to push me to greatness. And I'm telling you right now, don't give up. I'm telling you right now, don't give in. Get through it. There is still time. As long as there's breath in your nostrils, as long as you can wake up in the morning.
It matters how you're going to finish. And you will find that strength to get back up.
You still in the game, which means if you're in the game, and there's still time in the game, still time left in the game, you can still win the game. You can't afford not to be you. You can't afford just to go to work so you can get a check. You cannot afford not to see what your greatest is. You can't afford not to put your foot all the way down and see what you can get out of life.
You'll get knocked down, but you won't be knocked out. I'm going to empower me. And all of these things that are happening to me right now, they're just temporary inconveniences. They're not stronger than I am.
You can't afford not to be you.
You're going through some hard times? It has not come to stay. It has come to pass. It takes guts to pick yourself up. It takes guts. You got to dig down deep. Get it out. Keep on going. Again and again and again. Until you make it happen. Because you know that it's possible.
And many of you right now, life's got you up against the rope. You can't give up. You can't give in. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And if life's got you backed up, you start fighting back.
You see, life knocks you down trying to land on your back because if you can look up, you can get up.
It's necessary you take responsibility for it. That you make it happen. That you don't give up. That you keep on keeping on. That you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. We have so much energy that can take us so far. It's necessary that you hook up with some other energy that can take you to the next level. Just go out there. It's possible you can get what you want. It's necessary if you want, you got to go to action. You got to be willing to experiment. You got to be willing to fail and to succeed. Here's your dream manifested. No, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's difficult. That's right. And it's worth it.
It's necessary that you have a plan of action, that you're resilient, that you stick to it, that you have the vision and never give it up, that you become creative and relentless and keep on coming back again and again and again. And that it's you that you got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. And that it's hard, easy is not an option. And when life knocks you down, jump back up and say, it's not over until I win.
Life is work. Life is getting up and doing what you have to do every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Life is making a commitment direction and moving with fierce intensity every single day, making every single day a success in that particular direction. You don't always feel good, you don't always get what you want, but you keep fucking going in that direction. Motivation is bullshit. Motivation doesn't get anything done. Motivation gets you going. Discipline, commitment, strong habits is what gets things done. Motivation is just a feeling. Grounded action is what gets things done. You commit once to the thing that you're going to do, and then you do it every single day. I can't emphasize this enough, how important it is for you to commit to small things on a daily basis, because that is what transforms you. It's those tiny little actions. It's not the grand visions, it's the tiny actions that move towards a worthy ideal. Do the thing you're afraid to do. Do it. It's not about feeling confident about going into the situation. It's not about knowing that it's going to work out. It's not about having the most detailed plan for how this thing will happen. It's about doing it. Success is not doing the right thing, and it definitely isn't doing the right thing the first time. Success is having the courage to move in the direction of your dreams, move in the direction that your heart is taking you. That is what success is, as you are progressively realizing that thing. About how is it that some people can advance in life? How is it that some people can move forward and some people just seem stuck? They're just stuck in their life. They're stuck in mediocrity. You need either a tragedy or you need a goal so big that it draws you, it pulls you out of bed. It's much more difficult to be pulled towards something than to have something chasing your ass. It's much easier to run when a dog is chasing you and nipping at your ass than running towards a prize. When a dog is chasing his ass, he's gonna run. You're gonna fucking run because it's a tragedy, or you can get your ass bit. And then you put $1 million at the end of another one, that guy's gonna run too. He's not gonna run nearly as fast or with as much intensity. Bro, you need to literally pick up your video game machine, smash it to fucking pieces, walk out your house, get in your car, and go live in your car. Go somewhere. Go check into a homeless shelter. You need to shake up your life like it's never been shook up before.
A lot of people, their excuses are, it's easier said than done. It's too hard, right? This is really basically what your story is. That's the story you told yourself. But it's easier said than done. You know, it's kind of hard to do that. Well, it's supposed to be fucking hard. It's supposed to be difficult. If it wasn't difficult, then there'd be no growth. There would be no resistance. There'd be nothing to force you to grow stronger with. And that's why I say the most important reason, the most important thing, the most important gift that you receive by taking action in the direction of your dreams is not attaining your fucking dream. It's you growing stronger and becoming a stronger version of yourself through the challenges, through the resistance, and because it's hard.
I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive.
If you and I are going to live our lives fully, then maybe sometimes we can take the experiences of those around us and learn from them.
Self-confidence also comes from the ability to rise above your circumstances. To rise above what happens, the petty little things, the discouraging things that would sink everyone else's ship except yours. That would cause someone else to quit early in the day, but you keep going. That kind of willingness to overcome all the circumstances, whether it's the little challenges or the big challenges. If you're willing to do that, I promise you, this kind of power will work for you, and in you, the variable, it'll make you.
Let me point out to you that freedom is not something that anybody can be given. Freedom is something people take. People people are as free as they want to be.
Everything on earth has a purpose, and you do too. That purpose provides an inner drive that once you tap into it, you feel your life immense fulfillment. It will also give you certainty.
Don't ask for security, ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the boring. Take full responsibility for what happens to you.
Driven by your need to please others, if you're driven by your fear, if you're driven by your past, maybe it's time to free yourself. And the way to do it is decide. Decide consciously what you want your life to be about. Decide consciously what's the purpose of your life. Something simple. Something you can live every single day.
Everyone has two natures. One wants us to advance, and the other wants to pull us back. The one that we cultivate and concentrate on decides what we are at the end. Both natures are trying to gain control. The will alone decides the issue. A man by one supreme effort of the will may change his whole career and almost accomplish miracles.
Your opinion of yourself becomes your reality. If you have all these doubts, then no one will believe in you, and everything will go wrong. If you think the opposite will happen. It's that simple.
A man may be very capable, but unless he wills to control his abilities, they will not do him any good. For as stated before, when you learn to control the body, you are gaining control over the mind.
You know, there are many influences on us. One is the influence of the past. Some people are always pulled back by the past. Some people are always pulled aside by the distractions. But here's what's powerful. If you have a list of high purpose in your life, it pulls you toward the future. And the more powerful the purpose is, the stronger it pulls.
You can blame everybody for your problems in life, and you might be right, but you can't change that. Right. What you can change is what you think and how you react, and what power you give other people's actions and thoughts over you.
What is successful and what is failure? The differential are so small. We're talking about seconds. We're talking about, reps. We're talking about the finest echelon of measurement that will make or break someone's life.
It all depends on how you look at it. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most.
If you want to be the best, you must be obsessed with it.
I was on a mission, on a very specific quest. You know, it was bigger than just wanting to be a musician or do movies. It was about finally showing the world what Scott could do. So I had this fire. I had this fire to pursue this musical career. Life will throw you a ton of curveballs. It's scary. But like, if you believe, man, you know, if you believe, and if you want it, and if you want to work hard enough for it, it can be so.
One of the things I have realized, and many of us have, that if you want something out of life, if you want to change yourself, if you want to acquire something, if there's some goal that you want to reach, that it's really not easy as some people will make us feel. That living your dream, changing your behaviors, overcoming negative habits, is challenging. It's hard. That living alone is just very difficult. And once we begin to come to grips with the fact that living is difficult, always something, you will never ever have a problem-free moment in life. Many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity. We spread ourselves too thin, don't know how to say no, and we find ourselves doing all kinds of things and never ever have time to do those things that we need to do to work on ourselves. And then there goes a second, there goes another second, there goes another second, and we can't stop and hold time. And before you know it, you wake up one day and you're behind in your dreams and your bills.
You have to midnight to dump out all jealousy, all pettiness, all unforgiveness, all strife, all malice, all confusion, all blaming other people for your mistake. You got till midnight to get rid of every poison that's hindering you. Woe be unto you if you go into another year and waste another year with the old mentality while somebody's in the hospital begging God for the opportunity that you have right now. You gotta step into this moment.
Don't just talk about your grind. Don't just talk about how much you're this and that. Show me. So when you're challenged by life, what are you going to do? When you feel like you're at your lowest point in life, will you throw in the towel? Or will you make the move to make it?
If I can take it, I can make it.
The most powerful tool that you have right now in your life, in your body, is your mind. That's why the enemy fights you in your mind. The devil doesn't have to tie you up for you to be bound. He just has to tie up your head. With stress, with worry, with aggravation, with low self-esteem, with pettiness, with anger, with hostility, with rebellion, and he can make you physically sick because your mind is sick. Lay your hands on your head and say, give me a new mind. Give me a new mind means give me a new perspective. Give me a new perspective. Give me a new way of looking at my situation. Give me a new way of looking at my circumstances. Get my mind ready for this year, because when I get this year, there's going to be blessings, there's going to be miracles, there's going to be opportunities. Oh yes, there's going to be some struggles, there's going to be some challenges, there's going to be some tests, but even the struggles are an opportunity for me to show off the victory if my mind can handle the change.
If you can take it, you can make it. You can take it, you can make it. Right? You train, you fight. Way harder than those other guys, and you win. You get out from under. You can take it, you can make it. You can do this. Just gotta believe you can.
There's some things I'm not taking with me in the new year.
everything that's inflexible, and everything that's not ready, everything that's backwards, and everything that's negative, and everything that's condescending, and everything that's carnal, and everything that's holding me back. I refuse to take it over into another year and waste another new year with an all mind. Don't shake yourself around the comings and goings of this world. Don't shake your opinions and your attitudes around circumstances that you cannot change. If you go into another year and waste another year with the old mentality while somebody's in the hospital begging God for the opportunity that you have right now, you better step into this moment. As soon as you decide to stop looking for answers in other people and miracles somewhere down the yellow brick road and take the heels of your mind, you could have been free years ago. You can get your mind out. You can get your money out. You can get your family out. You can get your job out. You can get your career out. You can get your health out. You can get your prosperity out. If you can get your mind out, no devil in hell, no weapon formed against you, no enemy that hates you, no witness that hates you, can stop you from being free. If you can get your mind out, grab yourself by the hand and say, we're coming out of here. Tell them I'm coming out head first.
We have, as humans, we have something that no animal has. And what it's called is imagination. And what imagination allows you to do, it allows you to see it before it actually happens. What I mean by that is I need you to go 10 years into the future, 20 years into the future, and I need you to see yourself actually becoming the person you want to be. You gotta live in the forward. Block the whole world out. Put some music on, some classical music, right? The piano if you need to. I don't know what you need to listen to, but I want you to take 30 minutes. Go in the closet. Go in the basement. Go to the library. Go into a room alone. And I want you to take 30 minutes, and I want you to imagine. I want you to take 30 minutes, and I want you to live in the forward. See, the problem is I'm talking to some of you guys. The problem that you're having is you're living in the future and you live in the present. And you keep talking about the mistakes. You keep talking about the past. You keep talking about your trials. You keep talking about your situation. And I want you to know that everybody that's ever been great, everybody has had an obstacle to overcome. They've had a barrier that they had to climb. There is no individual who's ever reached success and he didn't have to go through an obstacle or a barrier to get there. I need you to live in the future. I need you to go in your future every single day. I need you to go in your future. I need you to see what you're going to be. Listen to me. What you are to be, you're now becoming. And so you got to use your imagination. And your imagination has to take you beyond the pain. Your imagination has to take you beyond the trouble. Your imagination has to take you to the next level. We have to see ourselves there long before it happens. The second tool is we got to embrace faith. I have to have faith to believe that the thing that I see 10 years from now, 20 years from now, that one day that thing is going to be successful. When I was homeless at 16, I could have quit. When I was homeless, I could have given up. There are many days that I thought about committing suicide. But I said to myself, just keep imagining, keep thinking, keep seeing what you're not now or what you're going to be. Sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes you're going to look all around you and nowhere do you see success. Nowhere do you see anything that remotely looks like success. But you got to embrace, number two, you got to embrace the faith. You got to believe that although it's not happening right now, if you keep pressing, if you keep pushing, guess what? One day is going to be your day. That's right. I need you to say that with me. One day is going to be your day. Embrace the faith. You got to be able to see it and believe it, that when there's no evidence around you, when there's no evidence around you, when you got pain in your life, when you're tired, you feel like giving up, and you feel like quitting. When you look around you, you don't see anything that looks anything like success. You got to embrace the faith and believe that one day going to be my day. But one day can't be your day if you give up. If you quit, no day will ever be your day. I want you to fail forward. That's right, I said it, fail forward. I want you to get to a place in your life that every mistake you make, every setback you get, right, every obstacle that you don't overcome, every barrier you can't climb. I don't want you to give up, but I want you to fail forward. You gotta learn from your mistakes. That every mistake you make, you fail in class, get back up and try again. You lose a job, get back up and try again. You put all your money in investment, get back and try again. If you start a business and it don't work, don't stop, don't quit. Fail forward. Learn from each and every one of your mistakes. Don't quit, don't give up. Listen to me, don't quit, don't give up. If it gets hard, you tired, not around yourself, you double tired if you have to, but you hold on. But I want you to know you will never reach your goal. You will never reach your dreams if you don't use your imagination. So when you fail that class, don't drop it. When you fail that class, don't just stop going. You go into the end of that class. You go into the end of that class, and you go into the end of that class, and you go into the end of that class. Because I want you to know something. When you start that class over the next semester, you won't be starting from scratch. You won't be starting from the bottom because you were all the way up here when you quit. And now all you got to do is go a little further and a little further. So keep reaching, keep climbing. Started with a vision.
Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Fear is a choice.
Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. I want your dream to be so clear that when you wake up in the morning, all you gotta do is step in your dream. And the first step for me was seeing something I was not before I was. You can do it. Where you are is temporary. You will not be there for the rest of your life. I don't care what happens in your life. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care where you are. Every single day you wake up, if you're going to have energy, if you're going to have passion, if you're going to have drive, every day you wake up, you got to start with that vision. This is a mentality. Like, you got to live this. You got to eat this. Every single thing you do is not a cute setting. It is a way of life. It's got to possess everything you do. It's got to own it.
There's no reason to have a plan B as a distraction plan A.
I want to see how far I can go. I want to see what I can accomplish. I want to see what I can do, what I can be, what I can have. I want to see. I don't want to see what I think I can do. I don't want to see what I think is possible. I want to see what my life would look like if I didn't count the cost. If I was willing to go further than anybody else was willing to do.
One problem, the violin.
Because to do what you do, you've got to be a world-class violinist. Because if you don't, when you're moving around and being thrown around and still trying to play, you end up doing what you did, and that's missing loads of notes. And there were times when it sounded to me like a bunch of rats being strangled. Seriously, that bad. But you're not good enough, I don't think, to get away with flying through the air and trying to play the violin at the same time.
I don't think what you're doing right now is enough to fill a theater in Vegas.
That much movement made you not as great as you were. Made you not as great as you were.
Anytime there's a change to be made, you have to realize that there's somewhere else you want to be. And I wanted to basically be happy.
You can't do anything without faith. It's impossible to accomplish anything without faith. So I need you to believe there is still time. As long as there's breath in your nostrils, as long as you can wake up in the morning.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it.
So I need you to believe.
Because if you're willing to go through all the battling you got to go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? I mean, maybe some of you guys got something you never finished, something you really want to do, something you never said, or something. And you're told no, even after you pay your dues. Who's got the right to tell you that? Who? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut. Ain't nobody's right to say no. That's your earned right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do.
You gotta do what you were called to do. You gotta do what you were born to do. You gotta do what works for you, because if you do what works for you, you're gonna blow up. It's in your DNA. It's who you are.
Yeah, you get back up, you get back up, you get back up, and you continue until shit against the wall.
You have a vision, but listen to me. You are where you are because of who you are. And if you're going to get somewhere else, you're going to have to change something.
If you're having one of those dark days, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to feel that darkness.
If I start crying, I don't think I'll ever stop.
Going through a divorce right now, if you're going through a financial problem right now, if you're going through illness right now, if you are going through any form of crisis right now, I know you might not even want to get out of bed in the morning. It might be that bad. Please remember this. Crisis comes to serve the person who wants to use it as fuel. You have a choice. You can be a victim and you can let it break you, or you can actually ask yourself, how can I use this time in darkness, which will not last, because you know this dark times never last. The real question is, how can I leverage the pain? How can I leverage the darkness? How can I leverage the heartbreak so it grows me, so it makes me stronger, so it makes me wiser, so it allows me to tap into the greatest of virtues of humanity,
pain is always there because life is freaking painful, okay? But suffering is a choice.
And if you've got in your mind that you think that people don't understand, that's okay. They don't. But you do. You know darkness. You know evil. But more important than that, you know good. You know light. You know laughter and love better than anyone.
I remember the past and I learn from it. I rejoice and celebrate in the present, and I reimagine the future. If you're victimized by your thoughts, you're victimized by your past. I use memories, but I do not allow memories to use me.
The first thing is to recognize that what's happening is not a punishment, that it's actually an opportunity. What most people do is pretend that it's not there, pretend that it doesn't exist, or try and do something to avoid feeling it. Please trust that it is leading you to something greater, and know that.
Use your pain as an instrument for your greatest growth.
So, embrace that darkness.
And in those moments then, when you can actually just embrace it and accept it, 5 years from now and 10 years from now, when you look back on it, you'll see it as a pivotal moment in your development.
Own it. Don't look away from it. Don't bury it in booze or in pills. Live your life. Embrace your life. With physical activity and with nature and with jiu-jitsu and with sun and with laughter and guitar and good memories and creativity and discipline. Discipline yourself so you can free yourself and move forward into the future.
Because you know, as you're going through a difficult time right now, I promise you, I assure you, the clouds will lift. Right there is sunlight above the clouds. You're just looking at the clouds right now. And they will lift. And crisis has come to teach you the big lesson you're meant to learn to move to your next level in the next chapter of your greatest life. There is an invisible hand at play, whether you feel it or not. And maybe I am the servant of information to remind you in this moment right now, what you're experiencing doesn't feel good, but it is good. Please remember that you are built to shine. Great things are coming your way. You are not average. The darkness will pass. World class is coming, and you are meant to fly.
In life, you will run across disappointments. You sure will. You'll run across things that happen in your life that are so wrong. But I will say, in the end, everything will be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end.
So you want to be successful, huh? Well, there's one thing in this world that has the ability to change our whole life in an instant. You know what it is? It's action. So first step, you just need to make a decision. Ask yourself this. A year from now, 5 years from now, what are you going to wish you did today? The secret to getting ahead in this world is first getting started. You can't let fear stand in the way of your dreams. You cannot think, oh, what if this doesn't work? If you believe enough in the process and the end result, success is going to come to you. It will. You just got to be willing to see it through to the end. But first, you just got to jump in the deep end, man. And once something goes into motion, it stays in motion. The process itself feeds the fire. You can't be trapped by fear. Limits like fears, they're illusions. Disregard them. If you're passionate about it and you go full throttle, there's no doubt you're gonna be good at it. Because what makes someone good at something? It's dedication, hard work, and it's doing it with the proper direction and methodology. So if you plug away, you're gonna be good. But what makes someone a professional at something? It's the concept of taking that little idea, that little decision you make, and executing to take it as far as your imagination holds, dedicating every breath in your body to that single cause. Seeing the grand picture at the end of the road to be the absolute best and not settling for any reason. It's not talent, it's not innate ability. It simply comes down to how hungry you are. How hungry are you to improve? How big is your appetite for success? What are you willing to do to reach your dreams? The professionals, the best at their craft, they don't care about the naysayers. They don't care about the fun they're forgoing. They don't take days off. They are 100% set in their ways in perfecting their craft. Because it's all for a much larger purpose than any semblance of happiness that immediate gratification provides. Reaching your goal, well, that's just pure bliss. The higher the expectations, the larger the goal, well, the appeal just magnifies. So what's the difference between you and them? The professionals, they're the ones who are willing to knock on the doors of complete exhaustion every single day. Now let me define exhaustion for you. Exhaustion is at that very point where it's just so damn painful that you just can't push anymore. That it hurts so bad that you can't even think straight. It's in reaching that point when deep down you know that you did absolutely everything in your power. That there wasn't one more thing you could have done. So what's the difference between them and you? What are you doing at this present moment in time? Ask yourself this. Are you moving closer towards your goals, or are you moving further away from them? Are you knocking on those doors of exhaustion, or are you just uncomfortable? You see, being uncomfortable is not exhaustion. Being uncomfortable is your mind quitting before your body. Being uncomfortable is just saying no to trying again. Achieving greatness happens when you're willing to do something that will kill you just to make you better. See, it's easier to buy the ticket to see the game than it is to be the one to prepare for it. It's easier successful was gonna be easy. But I'll tell you one thing, it sure as hell is working. You are your own maker in this world, and there is no such thing as failure. You just gotta tell it, no, not this time, not with me. I'm gonna try again and again and again, and I'm gonna look failure straight in the face, and I'm gonna tell it that I'm willing to go through all the struggles to reach my dreams. Because without struggle, there's never gonna be any progress. It's all in how bad you want it. How big is your appetite for success? Do you just want to fight, or are you starving out there for it? Stay empty, stay driven, stay hungry.
It's very basic. You're born with the tools for almost having a telepathic sense of what other people are thinking. Babies have it, children have it to a very high degree. Primitive indigenous cultures are probably our earliest ancestors, probably did have telepathic powers almost. You're born with the tool, you just lost it. You're not connected to it, it's not being exercised.
The sad fact is that we are so distracted that we're no longer present in the world in which we live. We miss out on the things that are most important to us. And the crazy thing is that everybody just assumes, well, that's the way life is, so we just kind of got to get on with it. That's really not how it has to be.
Our minds possess powers we have not even begun to tap into. These powers come from a mix of heightened concentration, energy, and ingenuity in the face of obstacles. Each of us has the capacity to develop these powers, but first, we have to be aware of their existence. This is difficult, however, in a culture that emphasizes material means, technology, money, connections, as the answer to everything. We place unnecessary limits on what the mind can accomplish, and that becomes our reality.
The mind that we rely upon to be happy, content, emotionally stable as individuals, and at the same time to be kind and thoughtful and considerate in our relationships with others. This is the same mind that we depend upon to be focused, creative, spontaneous, and to perform at our very best in everything that we do. And yet, we don't take any time out to look after it.
We must turn this perspective around and face reality from within, finding a way to accept and embrace death as part of being alive. Only from such a position can we begin to overcome the fear of our mortality, and then all of the smaller fears that plague our lives. The following is a quote from 50 Cent. "When I nearly died, it made me think, this can happen again any second. I better hurry and do what I want. I started to live like I never lived before. When the fear of death is gone, then nothing can bother you and nobody can stop you."
It's about a greater purpose. A purpose from within, a higher power purpose. The holy ground. The holy ground that created the life form, the energy, the fucking voltage of life. That higher ground's within us too. It's the belief in what we can be.
You do not know where your decisions come from. They pop up like hiccups. And when you make a decision, people have a great deal of anxiety about making decisions. Did I think this over long enough? Did I take enough data into consideration? And if you think it through, you find you never could take enough data into consideration. The data for a decision in any given situation is infinite. So what you do is, you go through the motions of thinking out what you will do about this. But warriors are people who think of all the variables beyond their control, what might happen.
Choice is the act of hesitation that we make before making a decision. It is a mental wobbling. And so we are always in a dither of doubt as to whether we're behaving the right way, doing the right thing, and so on and so forth, and lack a certain kind of self-confidence. And if you see you lack self-confidence, you will make mistakes through sheer fumbling. If you do have self-confidence, you may get away with doing entirely the wrong thing. You have to regard yourself as a cloud in the flesh, because you see, clouds never make mistakes. Did you ever see a cloud that was misshapen? Did you ever see a badly designed wave? No, they always do the right thing. But if you will treat yourself for a while as a cloud or wave, and realize that you can't make a mistake, whatever you do, because even if you do something that seems to be totally disastrous, it'll all come out of the wash somehow or other. Then, through this capacity, you will develop a kind of confidence. And through confidence, you will be able to trust your own intuition. But this is the middle way of knowing it has nothing to do with your decision to do this or not. Whether you decide that you can't make a mistake, or whether you don't decide it, it's true anyway. You are like cloud and water. Through that realization, without overcompensating in the other direction, you will come to the point where you begin to be on good terms with your own being and to be able to trust your own brain.
Each of these lives is the right one. Every path is the right path. Everything could have been anything else, and it had just as much meaning.
It isn't a separate. Your mind is what there is, everything.
My mom wanted me to be a truck driver because that would mean I'd make $24,000 a year if I went to Truck Masters, and that would be twice what my father made. And she thought that would happen, but something inside of me said, I don't want to drive a truck. There's something else that matters more to me, and I decided I was not gonna go for money instead of passion. And the reward's been pretty amazingly better than being a truck driver. Not bad being a truck driver, it's just not what I was after. And I look back, and one of the things that helped me was my original teacher, Jim Rohn, who's a personal development speaker I went to hear when I was 17. He said something the first time I heard it, and he said, you know, it's really simple. If you want life to change, you gotta change. If you want life to be better, you gotta get better. It's the only way it happens. And luck will show up for people and it'll leave them. But if you're constantly improving who you are and what you give, game over. When people ask me, what does it take to be happy? I always tell them one word: progress. Progress equals happiness. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, if you're on the road, if you're improving, if you're making progress, you're gonna love it. You're gonna feel alive. On the other hand, it doesn't matter how successful you are, if you stop growing, you start dying inside. I've always had this belief: if you want to be successful at anything in life, never leave the sight of setting a goal without doing something that commits you to fulfillment. If you get like, you're in state, right, when you do something, while you're in state, that's the time to commit yourself to something that makes you follow through. So I'd call somebody up, I'd schedule something, I'd walk in the next meeting, I'd sign up for the class, I'd enroll the guy who was going to mentor me, I'd set the meeting with a mastermind of people I met. I did something so that whatever I committed to, there was something when I went home that would pull me there. It's structure. This could be the greatest time you ever live if you control what you focus on, if you find a more empowering decide to model the actions of those who succeeded before you. It can be the best financial time, the best emotional time, the best spiritual time of your life, but you better take control of your state. And if you think you're going to do it just by today, you're wrong. You're going to need to get yourself some rituals. Right now, every one of you in this room is controlled by your rituals. I don't just mean this one. I mean every morning you get up. I know your body. I can look at your body right now, and I can guess your rituals. Some of you, your rituals to work out 5 times a week, I can see it clearly. 4 to 6 times a week, it's obvious. Because you couldn't look like that if you didn't do that. Some form of workout. I don't care if it's walking, lifting, whatever. Some of you, it's obvious that lifting weights is part of it. You can see by the man's muscles. I know what his rituals are. Because your life comes from your rituals. If you don't develop the ritual, you're kidding yourself. How many agree with me on this? Raise your hand and say, I. And there are rituals that put you in state, and there are rituals that take you out of state. But if you've got what you know, that focus, the target, and you got the toolbox, and you're still not getting what you want, it's because you got inner conflicts. That's the third pillar. You've got to resolve your inner conflicts. Because that, as I tried to explain to you, 80% of success in anything is your psychology, and 20% is the mechanics. So those inner conflicts are when you take 2 steps forward, you pull 3 steps back. Right? When you say, "Oh, I'm totally committed to this," but you don't follow through. This is my expertise, the why guy part. Why? Why do you keep saying you want this? You have crystal clarity, you have the tools, and you're still not getting it? There's a conflict in you. Align your life with what is most important to you. And then once you are in a position where you're aligned, guess what you'll do? Take action. You don't have to work at it. When everything's in alignment, there's nothing pulling you away, boom, you go for it. Progress comes when you tell yourself the truth and you're able to feel the uncertainty and take action anyway. The thing that stops us all is fear. It's no surprise. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, fear of not looking good. And that fear we can translate the simple thing of uncertainty. And when you look at someone who's incredibly successful, you look at someone who's truly a leader in their life or in their field, the one thing they have in common is they exude this sense of certainty. Where's that come from? Is it inborn? Are they lucky? Are things just going their way? No, great leaders know how to step in the uncertainty and bring the certainty to the situation. Most people in life, they really feel like the level of stress in their life comes to how much of life do you feel like you control, or how much does life control you? Do you tend to control more of what's going on, or events control it? It's very easy to have those events start to take control, unless we took control of what's between our ears, our own mind. See, what you and I focus on massively affects how we feel, whether we're thriving or surviving. If you focus on what you can't control, if you focus on the past, if you focus on what's missing from your life constantly, that pattern of focus will make you frustrated, overwhelmed, depressed. It won't even matter if you're taking antidepressants. If you keep focusing on what you can't control, what's missing from your life, you're going to feel depressed still. You take as many antidepressants as you want. Focus equals power. If you want to thrive, you got to focus on what you can control. You got to focus on the difference you can make. You got to focus on what's already in your life that you're grateful for. So you've got to find a story that's going to empower you to act. A story that's going to get you to find the breakthrough. Because otherwise, with a lousy story, you'll never find the strategy, or you come up with a reason why it's too expensive, you can't get there, you can't access it, or you'll even get the strategy and then half-ass apply it just so you can reward your story that says it doesn't work as I tried. Resourcefulness is the ultimate resource. And if you don't have what you want, stop telling yourself the story because you don't have the money all the time. That's bullshit. It's because you haven't committed yourself where you would burn your boats. If you want to take the fucking island, burn your fucking boats. And you will take the island because people, when they're going to either die or succeed, tend to succeed. But most of us give ourselves a way out, and that's why we don't have what we want. I was thinking about where this journey began for me. My desire to serve. Every day before I get on stage, I do this thing to whip myself into peak state, and then my last words are, "Use me, Lord." That's my prayer. And every day my goal is to be a blessing in people's lives. Just do more, give more, share more, create more. What you need will be there. It's like air. You don't stop to think about when you take a breath whether it'll be there or not. It's always going to be there. Yeah. You just got to do your part.
Procrastination is the lion growing in you. I'm going to tell you what I mean in a moment. But essentially, you're becoming a man and you're moving into a new phase in your life where you're beginning to say, no, I won't. But you keep, it's sort of passive aggressive because you can't say that to your teacher. Fuck you, I ain't doing this classwork. Fuck you, I ain't taking the test. No, I'm not going to class. You can't do that, right? Because you're still a camel. I'll tell you what I mean in a moment. And ultimately, this is a journey to becoming the strongest version of yourself, or a form of potent wisdom that is encapsulated in another metaphor, which is the child. So what am I talking about? What is Elliot talking about? If you've ever read Thus Spoke Zarathustra, this is Nietzsche. And of course, like I can't pronounce half the shit that he writes. But this is a metaphor that's used in this book by Friedrich Nietzsche, where he describes the evolution, the spiritual evolution of the man, where he goes from the beginning stages of his life, he's physically and spiritually, emotionally immature, and he calls this your camel stage. Zarathustra. Right? I think I said it right. This is the camel stage of your evolution. What is the camel? The camel is a beast of burden. You basically are at a stage in your life from birth, where you start walking and talking and they start teaching you shit. They start laying burdens on your shoulders, right? Society, your parents, teachers, religion, they start putting things on your shoulders. You're a beast of burden until about the age of, about 17, kind of like, where you're at right now. Where you bow down. What does the camel do? It's such a great metaphor. Beautiful, beautiful passage in the book. He bows down and the world is loading his back with burdens. You're a beast of fucking burden. You're supposed to go to school. You're supposed to pass your tests. You're supposed to do your homework. You're supposed to clean your bedroom. You're supposed to, right? All the things you're supposed to do. All the conditioning laid upon you. All the beliefs that you've been given. They're not yours. A lot of us think we have our own beliefs. I got my own beliefs. No, you don't. No, you have not developed your own beliefs, your own ideas, your own conditioning. You have not become a lion just yet. Until that camel, about that age where you start exploring and questioning just a little bit. If you're a mature individual, you don't question, that means there's no inclination towards maturity in you. But most of us in this day and age with the internet and so much ideas being proliferated, that of course we're going to mature. I'm hearing all this other shit and I'm asked to do all this stuff here. What's going on? So you're about 17 years old. All that has been laid on your shoulders, right? Beast of burden now travels out into the desert. This is the world. You're going to either go to college, you're going to go and get a career, but essentially you're now sort of free, right? We've extended college. I mean, we can extend college until you're fucking 30, 40 years old. Depends on when you want to grow up. But essentially, you're now going out into the world. So that camel stands up, beautiful metaphor, and wanders out into the desert with this giant load on its back. And he meets the dragon. And the dragon's name is Thou Shalt. Thou Shalt is his dragon. And on every one of his little pieces of dragon scales, it says Thou Shalt. There's a belief, there's an admonition, there's something that you're supposed to do. All these supposed to's that the world tells us is all over this dragon. Here comes this dragon, thou shalt. You're carrying this burden that the world has laid upon you. And it is your responsibility as a maturing individual to slay that dragon, because one of two things will happen. You either bow down and you continue to live your life as a beast of burden, and you allow thou shalts to control you. So now that dragon rules your life. A lot of us live that way. Or you slay that fucking dragon. This is kind of where you are right now. All the procrastination is because you feel this anxiety between, all this stuff is being laid upon you. You don't want to do this. We're out in the desert right now. You started sort of out there. And you're meeting this dragon. Thou shalt. Your responsibility at this point, and I know it's your responsibility, this is your plight because you're asking me this fucking question. And by slaying that dragon, you become a lion. And that lion's name and his attitude is I will and no. So the no goes towards all the things that the world has told you you're supposed to do. Thou shalt. You destroy the dragon with your no. 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 See, right now you can't do it that way. Because you're still living in the confines, you're still bowed down, but you're about to get up. You're still bowed down as that camel, but you're about to get up. Remember this, my friend, that now, as you're walking, as you're on your own 4 feet as that camel out into the desert, and at this point, no one can do this for you. Your parents are not there for you anymore, because you're becoming a man. Your most powerful position against the dragon of thou shalt is your no. And once you slay that dragon with your no, you begin a new journey in your spiritual evolution as a man. And that is your I will. Now, how many of us even that make it that far, that become a man of I will? Now you go out there, and the lion is completely hysterical. He's rebellious, he's angry. He wants to tear everybody's heads off. And he just uses pure will. That's why his new power is called I will. You're living out of this part of your body right now. This is where your will is. Of course, I'm talking about other things, but follow me. This is your heart. This is your breathing. This is your solar plexus. That which combusts and manifests in your body does so in your life. Now it's the will. You build up your will. You go out there and you do whatever the fuck you want to do. You go and you choose the type of woman you want, you choose the type of career you want, you choose the type of business you want, you choose whether or not you want to go into business. You decide if you want what type of poetry you want to involve yourself in, what type of art. You go out there now and you exert your will the way you want to. And thou shalt has already died, so you do it out of your own sense of purpose and strength. And this is where you'll be for quite a while. And this is where you'll find your greatest successes and your deepest hurts. When you become that lion and you need to go through. You need to go through those very difficult and treacherous times. Challenge, discomfort, hunger as a lion. Because a lion doesn't bow down to nobody. Right? He'll starve before he bows to the other animals. He ain't bowing. Kill that dragon for a reason. Kill me or I'll starve. That's the attitude of a lion. This has been my attitude, the attitude that I've been sharing with you guys through these videos for the past several years. It's the attitude of a lion, the I will. The no that you use to slay that fucking dragon, and the I will that you carry with you to succeed in that next evolution of your life.
Missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed.
Success is the result of failing over and over again just to get to where you want to be. If you've ever rode a bike before, you fell and you failed before you were ever able to ride it. You just had that incessant vigor to keep trying at it again and again, because you truly believed and you knew that you were eventually going to be able to do it. And success in any endeavor just the result of getting past those little failures. But it's the act of failing that makes you improve, that makes you want to do better, that makes you want more out of yourself. And you can either take the failure as the ending to your endeavor, or you can take it as a beginning road to success. You are always going to have obstacles and certain doubters in this world that are going to try to steer you in a direction that you're not accustomed to, that are going to chase you away from your game plan. But the only one who could deter you from your goals is you. You can achieve anything you want in this world that you put your mind to. And any examples of having to deal with failures can simply be broken. There are countless triumphant stories of getting to success by going through failure. Lucille Ball, dismissed from drama school for being too quiet and too shy. Albert Einstein did poorly in elementary school and failed his first college entrance exam. Isaac Newton did poorly in grade school and was considered unpromising. Beethoven, his music teacher told him that he was a hopeless composer. Jerry Rice never made it to a Division I school to play college football. Hillary Clinton failed the D.C. bar exam just to pass the one in Arkansas. Martin Luther King, ostracized by his family for not wanting to pursue a career as a merchant. Cindy Lauper extensively damaged her vocal cords and was told she'd never sing again. Barbara Streisand, her Broadway debut opened and closed on the same night. Brock Lesnar, told by doctors he would never fight
when you have everything
again.
taken away from you and you're laying helplessly in your hospital bed, not sure if I'm going to even get back in the octagon, something that I've grown to just love to do, and this is my life, you know, and so to not have, I've always been in control.
George Lucas, his first film flopped, prompting every major studio to turn down his next movie American disease.
No, I am your father.
John Grisham. His first novel, rejected by 16 agents and 12 publishing houses. Dr. Seuss. His first book, rejected by 27 publishers. Elvis Presley. His music teacher in high school gave him a C and told him he couldn't sing. Anthony Robles. Born without a leg.
Anthony, when you look back on your life, your journey from when you first stepped on the mat to this point right now where you're at, you accomplished your goal, what was the turning point in your life that, got you jump-started to where you are now?
Honestly, it was, I think it was my sophomore year. I took sixth in high school state, and a good friend of mine, he was a state champion that year. And, I wanted to be a state champion just like him. A lot of people weren't giving me credit for that. They didn't think I had a shot at it. But I think that was really the turning point. I was like, I want to be like that guy. I want to be the best in the state. And once I won that, I was like, I want to be the best in the nation. And I just went from there. Wrestling, it's been a huge thing in my life. Wrestling's been my life for 9 years now. I don't know what I'm going to do without competition now, but it's been a blessing in my life. It's taught me so much. It's really helped me to become a man. And I'll be forever grateful for that. Wrestling's given me so much. I feel like I'm obligated to, help in whatever way I can. And I'll definitely be around Arizona State wrestling room, just helping out the younger guys as much as I can because, I'm very grateful to them. They're one of the few Division I schools who gave me a shot, and I had some coaches that believe in me. And I want to be able to help them, just to say thank you, and help those kids that, like myself, others wouldn't give them a shot. I want to be able to help those kids rise up out of nothing and achieve their goals.
Obstacles are there to signify how bad you want something. Failure is a passageway to success. It's how you respond to failures or obstacles or those stumbles or brick walls that will ultimately determine your results. You can let the failures hit you square in the face and knock you out for good. Or you can get up and fight back. You will always have failure on the way to success. It's just about never being content with where you are in the present and moving forward with an incessant vigor to want more out of yourself, to want to do better, to have that internal fire to not end up failing. You have it in you.
Right here where you are last year, and I watched the class of 2006. And I said, wow, that's what a Hall of Famer is. Certainly I am not that. And I doubt it. I would ever have the chance to stand before you today. So when I returned home, I spoke with Michael and Elijah, and I said, that's how you do it, son. You do it like they did it. I wanted to stand in front of my boys and say, do it like your dad, like any proud dad would want to. And at that moment, a voice came over me, and it said, look up, get up, and don't ever give up. You tell everyone or anyone that has ever doubted, thought they did not measure up, or wanted to quit, you tell them to look up, get up, and don't ever give up.
Why is it so hard to do the little things that would improve my life? The way that our minds are designed is our minds are designed to stop you at all costs from doing anything that might hurt you. There are so many people in the world, and you know, you may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation. And that's not true. Because the way that our minds are wired, and the fact about human beings, is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable, or scary, or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things, because our brains are trying to keep us alive. And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, the best spouse, to do all those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary, which sets up this problem for all of us.
The one thing we have in this world is we can't control the events, but we can choose what to focus on, we can choose what things mean, and we can choose what to do. Those three choices, those three decisions really control our life.
You can always make a decision. That's always in your control. Staying with somebody that treats you like garbage is a decision. It is. Staying at a job that you hate is a decision. Staying in the body that you are not proud of is a decision. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy to change. It's simple. It's your job to push yourself.
It's not the smartest people who achieve success. It's the people who procrastinate less, make fewer excuses, as they take actions every day towards the goals that they want to achieve.
Indecision is the thief of opportunity. Indecision means the door is still closed. Indecision means the opportunity waits. Indecision means what could be is postponed or may never be.
If you want to be successful in anything in life, never leave the sight of setting a goal without doing something that commits you to fulfillment.
The next morning, the alarm goes off, and I pretended NASA was there. It's the stupidest story. I literally went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I counted out loud, and then I stood up. And I'll never forget standing there in my bedroom. It was dark, it was cold, it was winter in Boston. And for the first time in 3 months, I had beaten my habit of hitting the snooze button. There were moments all day long just like that 5-second moment in bed, where I knew, knowledge, what I should do. And if I didn't move within 5 seconds, my brain would step in and talk me out of it. Every human being has a 5-second window. It might even be shorter for you. You have about a 5-second window in which you can move from idea to action before your brain kicks into full gear and sabotages any change in behavior.
Your life is what you think it should be. That's exactly what you are right now. You are what you thought you should be. And if you don't like who you are, you got to change what you think you should be. What you think is more important than what you do. And so if you want to change, you got to work on this attitude bit.
Decide, commit, act, succeed, repeat. The one thing that all the greats have in common is they sweat the small stuff. They pay very, very close attention to every detail.
What makes you comfortable can ruin you. And what makes you uncomfortable is the only way to grow.
What you are and what you become depends on how you use your time. The billionaire and the beggar both have 24 hours every day. The old and the young, the black, the white, the Indian, and the Asian are all given the same amount of time every day. You cannot stop a day. You cannot stop an hour. But you can control how it will be used.
Your life comes down to your decisions. If you change your decisions, you will change everything. When you understand the power of a 5-second decision, and you understand that you always have a choice to go from autopilot to decision maker, everything in your life will change. You will be a different negotiator, you will be different in sales, you will be unstoppable in the gym, because you will realize the amount of garbage that you put in the way of your hopes, of your dreams, of your potential, of your confidence, of your courage. Everything comes down to the decisions that you make.
Take ownership. Take extreme ownership. Don't make excuses. Don't blame any other person or any other thing. Get control of your ego. Take ownership of everything in your world, the good and the bad. Take ownership of your mistakes. Take ownership of your shortfalls. Take ownership of your problems. And then take ownership of the solutions that will get those problems solved. Take ownership of your mission. Take ownership of your job, of your team, of your future, and take ownership of your life.
The first source of inspiration is deciding. The second source of inspiration is planning. And now, here's a big source of inspiration: beginning. Getting started. Actually turning thought and the notes on the paper, the plans, actually now committing it to action. Getting started.
I'm a humongous believer that ideas are and that execution is behavior.
Well, I think one thing that discipline definitely does help you with is it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success. If you have more success, and sometimes a big part of success is just not being f***ing lazy and just doing it. It's like 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not gonna feel perfect every day. If I only worked out when I felt good, I'd be a fat f***.
Discipline, it does start with waking up early. It really does. But that is just the beginning. And I always say that discipline is the root of all good qualities. But you have to absolutely apply it to things outside of just waking up early. It's everything. It's working out every day, making yourself stronger and faster and more flexible and healthier. Discipline is eating the right foods to fuel your system. It's about disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. Doing the tasks that you don't necessarily want to do, but that you know will help you.
The thing about self-discipline is that it is necessary for everything you do in your life. You have to be self-disciplined. Discipline is not punishment. It's not. If you change your mindset and really focus it on what discipline really is, you start to welcome discipline. You welcome self-discipline into your life.
People have to know you, not because, oh, he's a good salesman. Oh, he's a good this. Oh, he's an artist. People need to know you for one major thing first. He works. He produces. The guy's there every day. The guy's pushing and shoving. Because the truth is, no matter how good your ideas are, how good your art is, or how good your skill set is, if you're not working, man, if you're not vibrating at a frequency that people say, my God, how does that guy do all that? If you're not vibrating at that rate, if you're not working at that level, you're not going to make it.
The difference between having a job and having a vocation is that a job is some unpleasant work you do in order to make money, with the sole purpose of making money. And there are plenty of jobs because there is still a certain amount of dirty work that nobody wants to do, and therefore they will pay someone to do it. There is essentially less and less of that kind of work because of mechanization. But if you do a job with the sole purpose of making money, you are absurd. Because if money becomes the goal, and it does when you work that way, you begin increasingly to confuse it with happiness or with pleasure.
There's an epidemic, and I do mean epidemic in this country, of information abuse and information addiction, where people have come to believe that checking email 200 times per day, having a BlackBerry to your head, or in your hand while you're at dinner, or on the subway, or in your car, or with your friends, is the path to becoming more productive and more successful.
In this day and age, it's really easy to live a mediated life. You're getting all your information, all your experience, and even your friends are people that you're chatting with miles and miles away.
You could conceivably, obviously, go to a job and it'd be the most amazing job ever. But if it's not the most amazing job ever, if you really are sitting there just doing nonsense that you don't give a fuck about all day, there's nothing like that in all of nature. If you could tell someone that you're going to live a finite life, you only have this amount of, let's manage that life and let's see how you handle it. How much time do you think you'd spend sitting in a fucking box doing some shit you don't like? You wouldn't. You would spend none. You put 0 in the box. You would say, well, what percentage of your day do you want to sit down and do something you don't want? 0.
And so you get on antidepressants to try to stop the feeling. You get on fucking this or that. You start drinking. You get addicted to drugs to try to avoid the fucking, to avoid taking yourself out of autopilot. Let's just put it off till tomorrow to go to the gym. Let's put it off till tomorrow to go outside and run. Let's put it off till tomorrow to do the push-ups. Let's put it off till tomorrow to tell that fuck face to get the fuck out of our lives. Let's put it off till tomorrow to live. And if you're like me, every time that voice comes into your mind, you'll think, how many fucking tomorrows do I have? How many tomorrows have I put off? You'll find that you're surrounded by stacks of tomorrows that have become yesterdays.
But life can be a lot broader than that when you realize one simple thing. And that is that everything around us that we call life was made up by people that are no smarter than you.
Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle.
If anybody told me just having the courage to get started, that it was possible that I could earn more, that I could touch people's lives, that I could do things that I didn't even realize that I could do, I can just tell you right now, one of the things that you have to do is just decide, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A.
You have to completely unplug and reset. That means you need to take a step back, forget about what people expect you to do, forget about what's popular, and really look at what works and what is consuming your time.
It's easy to get tied up in the idea that money and things are a reflection of how wealthy you are. But if you think about time as your truest form of wealth, then you'll realize that we're all born equally rich in time.
Life is an opportunity. How much pressure should you put on it? How many places should you go? How many drugs should you take? How many sexual configurations should you experiment with? How many professions should you, and it depends, I think, the question is, how seriously do you take it?
So it's an incredible opportunity to be born in a human body. The whole biosphere is here to support us. 4 billion more or more years of evolution have led us to this point where we can make these very fine distinctions between good and evil, between darkness and light, where we can make choices that will impact upon us and upon others in profound ways. This is an extraordinary opportunity. So I would say, don't waste it. You were given this chance.
It's extremely improbable that we should be alive, that we should be here thinking, feeling, sharing. The fact that we're alive throws open the whole game, means anything is probably possible.
Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart.
Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Why would you be realistic? What's the point of being realistic?
It isn't how good you are, it's how wily you are, which was the Greek virtue of Odysseus. That was always his epitaph, or his epithet, was he was wily Ulysses.
You are in a sacred battle, and if you win this battle, this wrestling match, this combat session, this fucking mortal battle against this horrific foe, which can transform into so many delightful things, then you will climb out of it a warrior.
There are things that you have in you that you don't even know, but until you get outside of your comfort zone,
You will never discover it. You have something special. You have greatness within you. But in order to manifest your greatness, you've got to put yourself in a perpetual state of discomfort. Yes, you've got to challenge yourself. You've got to raise the bar on yourself. You've got to get busy. You've got to work your plan. Even if you've got a job right now, you've got to work yourself out of it. You've got to have an exit date where you say, hey, I've had it. It's time for me to do me, to pursue my dreams, to work my plan, to implement the things that I want for myself and for my family and for my kids. And what is your legacy? What do you want to do for yourself?
You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
I like to think of travel as sort of a metaphor for how you live your life. Life is a journey.
We don't beat the reaper by living longer. We beat the reaper by living well and living fully. For the reaper will come for all of us. The question is, what do we do between the time we're born and the time he shows up? Because when he shows up, it's too late to do all the things that you're always gonna kind of get around to.
Leaving your normal habitual life to go out and travel in earnest. Instead of taking a 1-week holiday, you take a year or 6 months or 6 weeks or 2 years or 5 years. But it's a way that you're going out sort of as a seeker, not really as a consumer on vacation. You're not taking an escape from your life, but you're sort of going in to what you want your life to become. You're leaving yourself open to new experiences in that way.
It is not the things we do in life that we regret on our deathbed. It is the things we do not.
No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet, death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. Right now, the new is you. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
So live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion, respect others in their view, and demand that they respect yours. Love your life, protect your life, beautify all things in your life. Seek to make your life long in its purpose in the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over to the great divide. Always give a word or a sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend, even a stranger, when in a lonely place. Show respect, don't evil, and grovel to none. When you rise in the morning, give thanks for the food, for the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies only in yourself. Abuse no one and no thing, for abuse turns the wise so as the fools and robs the spirit of its vision. When it comes your time to die, Be not like those whose hearts are filled with fear of death, so that their time comes, they weep and pray for more time and live their lives again over and over in a different way. Instead, sing your death song and die like a hero going home.
So we've all been brainwashed by the media, by our peers, by our parents, by our mentors, teachers, to achieve this thing called success. And no one ever defines success for us, right? You could look up the definition of it in a dictionary. That would do large injustice to you. Because success is really a random, arbitrary thing. If you think about words, what are words? They're meanings of association. They're just ideas, thoughts that we learn to attach to a concept that's different in everybody's eyes. If you're going to achieve something, you must have a firm grasp of what exactly that is. So what is success? That's the first step. So let me give you my definition. Success is not money. It is not clothes. It's not cars. It's not materialistic items. Those are simply rewards of habits of successful people. Success is the magnitude of the beneficial footprint that you leave on society. How many people do you have an effect on? And what type of impact do you have? So a man who makes a lot of money but neglects his children, who neglects his family, who neglects his peers, has a very limited impact on especially those who matter most. And so his success level is far diminished from what he could be. It's far diminished from someone who has achieved a lot, but had a major impact in forming their children, in shaping their peers, in shaping their spouse. So success is really the idea of the magnitude of your effect, how large it is, and the type of effect, how positive it is. So why do we look out up to people? We look up to certain people who have achieved a certain realm. And usually it's in a profession that's a mere focus of what you have your eyes on. Right? So if you like sports, you view athletes as being successful, the pinnacle of success. And so they're concepts. Your ideas relative to you, and my offering to you, to open your eyes up to what success is in your realm by looking inward, not outward. From the biases of the media, from your parents, from your peers, from your teachers, who are all trying to shape you in a way to live their definitions, their perspectives, what they intend their life to have looked like as this crystal staircase, as if they were molding you to live in their shoes. Because you are young and have future, and they are merely caught up in their way. And so they think that that time has passed, that they no longer have the ability, the resources to be able to achieve that level. So they try to influence you into their way, whether that's to force you to go to certain educational realms, open your eyes to what you want, to what you are to achieve, to establish where you are right now, and to create a plan of action to lead you in that direction of success. And if you're good at something, you don't need people to tell you that you're good at it. It just emanates off as energy, this feeling that we are inspired by. And we're inspired by people who lead by example, not who tell us what to do, but who rather show us the path. How do you get a horse to drink water? You don't take his horse's head and shove it down there, right? You drink, the horse sees how vibrant and healthy you are, how you're not thirsty anymore, and so it drinks, because it wants to follow. And you can take or leave my definition for how you want it. And that's the point. The idea is for you to create your own definition. For you to draw up your own experience. Take advice that you hear in, internalize it within, look within yourself. Right? So you might find this useful, so adopt it towards your own. The reason why my definition is the way it is because of my experiences. So I gauge society. I look at it and I try to see who society idolizes, who we glorify, we as people. Michael Jordan, for instance, people think he's successful. Oprah, successful. Bill Gates. When you look at it in one layer, it's that they're the best in their profession. That's their particular craft. And when you look at it really deep, you understand why are they successful. It's not because they have money or power. There are a lot of people that have money and power who you never heard of. You may not think they're successful. They have millions of people drawn to them based on its impact, emanating energy. That, wow, she did this. She created this empire out of nothing. She is an inspiration. She can do it, I can do it. With hard work and focus and consistency and pouring my heart and soul into something that I can really look up to her in a way because she's speaking out to me. That's success. How beneficial is that effect on you? But it starts with your inner circle. A deadbeat father is not a success in my eyes, no matter how much wealth he accumulates. Because there was not a day that goes by in that man's life that he doesn't really reflect and think, and it eats at his soul that he wasn't there for his child. The inner circle is the most important, and then you grow and expand from there. And so the idea is for you to create your own experience in terms of you looking internally within. And so when your parents give you advice and tell you paths to lead down, roads to go down, or your peers are influencing you, let me leave it like this. Your parents, mentors, and teachers are older, are wiser, regardless of what you think, that they may not understand you. They have a lot more experience under their belt. For instance, if you're 20 years old and your parents are 40, they have double the life that you have in terms of living, experiencing things that you've never experienced. They were your age once. They had urges like you did. Right? So they understand that hard work is important. But it's important to focus that hard work on where your heart is telling you to go. That's the important part, which your parents really do not know unless you have deep conversations and communicating with them back and forth on this. But if you felt a lack of expression or your parents weren't apt to listening to you in terms of your heart, then there's going to be a disconnect there, right? So my offering to you is this: take certain people's values over others. Internalize it. Always look within yourself, within your heart, within your soul about what that wants. If you want to be a doctor, you really visualize that. That's where you want to be. You bet your butt you need to go to medical school to get that degree. Right? But there are certain things that maybe you do want to be. You envision yourself as this business owner. You have to really look and analyze, is this education, this degree, is it going to be important to my goals and my happiness? Now, sometimes you have to go through pain to become who you want to be. You have to go through pain to get there. But there's good pain and there's bad pain. There's bad pain that eats at your soul if that's not what you want. There's good pain if you're going to get a reward from it that you want. And that's the important distinguishing factor that you have to have. So you always need to analyze it as to who you want to be, where you are right now, and what path you have to take to get there.
When you have a dream, it doesn't often come at you screaming in your face. Sometimes a dream almost whispers. Dreams always come from behind you, not right in your eyes. It sneaks up on you. And I've always said to my kids, the hardest thing to listen to, your instinct, your personal intuition, always whisper, never shout. Very hard to hear. So you have to, every day of your life, be ready to hear what whispers in your ear. Very rarely shout.
You can either live your dreams or live your fears. And I think the majority of people actually are not living their dreams, but are living their fears. So I want to ask you a question. What are your fears? What are you afraid of? What are you scared of? Because we all have fears, don't we? We all have something that's blocking us, that's holding us back. And as we begin to look at life, what we realize is that the reason that most people are not living out their true potential is because of fear. Some people call fear false evidence or expectations appearing real. What are the things that you fear that's been keeping you from living your dream? That's been keeping you from doing some things that you would like to do? Just think about those things. And how do we begin to handle that? Abraham Maslow said that life is about growth. And he said you can either go back to your comfort zone, and there you won't find any growth, or you must be willing to go forward and face your fears again and again and again. Because you're never going to have a fear-free existence. I mean, some fear is acceptable and legitimate. There are some things that you really should be afraid of. Now, you shouldn't allow it to immobilize you. You acknowledge it, you take it into account, and you carry yourself accordingly. There are times that we should proceed with caution. But it's the difference between being stopped by fear. It's the difference between having a fear and the fear having you. So what do we do? One, acknowledge it, and knowing that it's okay. Don't condemn yourself for being afraid. It's perfectly fine to have some fears. You acknowledge your fears, You embrace those fears, and then you move on. You act on whatever it is that you fear. Because once you embrace it, see, what you resist will persist. What you resist will persist. So one of the most important things is to begin to embrace your fears.
Listen to me very closely. You got to change that mindset. When you get to the point where it hurt real bad, when you get to the point you can't take it no more, when you get to that point, I'm telling you, I can't explain it to you. But doors start opening, opportunities start happening. But what you cannot do is you cannot quit doing the process. You cannot give up because it ain't what you see. You cannot give up. But the problem is you have consciously chosen to be average. You are average in school. You are average at your workplace. Like everything you do is average. That's why you spend hours watching your favorite athlete. When you watch him, there's something about him that's attracted to that greatness because there's something in you that's great. So that's why you watch him, because it's easier to watch him than it is to put his sweat, blood, and tears to become great. That's why you put those headphones on and you just shut the whole world out and you listen to your favorite artist, you listen to the sing, or you listen to the rap, and deep down inside, you hurt when you listen to this. You must have faith. You got to believe in yourself. Get something from it. You already came. Use it. Do something with it. Allow it to take you to the next level. Allow your pain to push you away. It's necessary you take responsibility for it. And you make it happen. If you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, as you go through the challenges of life, and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it, step toward it, don't try and duck it like most people do. It's difficult, yes, right, and it's worth it. Fear, I will fight you.
My college career was over. I got offered a job to become a hospital administrator. 2-year program, $75,000 job. And right before I took the job, my daddy called me on the phone. Let me tell you about my daddy. When I was a little boy, my daddy would always pick me up. When he came home from work, he picked me up. When he saw me in the nursery after church, he picked me up. No matter how long he worked, no matter how tired he was, my daddy would always pick me up. So when I had my kids, I would always pick up my kids. When I got home, sometimes I was tired. They have a bottle in one hand, and they just lifted up the other hand, and they knew what daddy was supposed to do. My job was to pick them up. Let me help you out, Advocare. This is a spiritual interaction. When you pick up a child, it is a spiritual transaction. When you pick up a child, you change their perspective. When you pick up a child, all of a sudden they can see the world the way you see it. I don't care what your children have done, there is nothing they can do for you to stop picking them up. Well, my daughter's a drug addict, I don't care, pick her up. My son messes up, I don't care, pick him up. I don't care. You pick them up. That is your job, mama. That is your job, daddy. That is your job, grandma. That is your job, granddad. Your number one job is to pick them up and change their perspective. My saddest day, one day, my daddy looked at me and said, boy, you're too big. I can't pick you up anymore. But when he couldn't pick me up physically, he would pick me up emotionally. He would pick me up spiritually. I had a great dad because he would always pick me up. So my daddy called me on the phone, he asked me a question. He said, son, you had a tough year, what's next? I said, Dad, I'm gonna be a hospital administrator. He said, not bad, but let me ask you a question, son. Do you believe you're an NBA player? I said, Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? He said, do two things you can play in the NBA. Lose 20 pounds and shoot a three-point shot with range, you can play in the NBA. I think you should be a motivational speaker, son. Like, if you lose 20 pounds and shoot a three-point shot with range, you can play in the NBA. I lost 20 pounds, and every day I would shoot 500 shots a day, every single day. I got invited to that training camp with the Dallas Mavericks, and not only did I make the team, I became the first ever undrafted rookie free agent in the history of the Dallas Mavericks to start opening night. Could you imagine what was going through my mind? I had not started a basketball game since high school. I got to the arena, they dimmed the lights, and they put the spotlight right on me. Right through the spotlight, I saw my mom, my dad, and all my brothers and sisters. Then I saw my dad. I just pumped my fist. And he pumped his fist. And tears streamed down my face.
What makes you such a good fighter?
It's in my head 24/7. There's nothing else I can think of. I don't think about nothing else. And that's it. I'm just curious. Curiously fascinated with it. And I can't stop thinking about it. Everything I do in my life is related to this. I don't do nothing else if it's not got to do with fighting. You know what I mean? And that is why, you know what I mean? To be true. All you've got to do is show up.
Is that not unhealthy?
To me, what's unhealthy is living an unhealthy life. To me, what's unhealthy is getting up and going through the same day every day of your life, 9 to 5, in an office or in a... You know, that's unhealthy. That beats your mind. I don't work. I love what I do, and that's why I'm doing what I love. You know what I mean? That's why it's become a career for me, because I love it. I love what I do. So I don't think it's unhealthy. I feel good in my mind. I mean, it's my life.
First time riding an airplane, I was a senior going into a football game, and I went in the restroom on the airplane, and as I was washing my hands, there was a sign on the wall. And as I was walking out of the restroom, the sign said, as common courtesy to the person that's coming behind you, can you wipe the sink out and leave it better than you found? And I said, as common courtesy to the generation that is coming behind me in life, everything that I touch, everything that I'm a part of, I vow to God that I will leave it better than I found it.
You have to have a reason for waking up every day. Just put one foot in front of the other. And there will be times where you will be down. But in order to get there, tomorrow may be harder than today. But it has to be a never-ending task. When you get to point A, you'll be going to point B. And you'll never reach the level that you want to reach until you breathe your last breath. And that's where people mess up. That's where people give up when they reach a certain level in life. And they're satisfied. Never be satisfied. Go beyond your dreams. Go beyond your goals. And you will inspire the world by just being you.
Like, I get thousands of emails a week. How do I find my passion? And literally I reply, I don't know. I don't. I would tell you, my punchline is, what would you do if you could just do it all the time? I actually do that.
You will always be in control of your destiny. The next thing is, whatever it is that you want to do, you want to do it massively. I have a friend who was telling me that his sales were down. I said, well, how many phone calls you make a day? He said, 25. I said, double them. Make 50.
or 75 or 100. He said, oh man, that's just too much. I said, what do you mean too much? You behind on your bills? You talking about too much? You talking about your time? There's no competition out here. Decide that you're going to push yourself. Most people won't do that. Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful. There's nothing as powerful. It's hard to kill the human spirit. They asked Benjamin Disraeli, a man who became the head of a country at a time when Jews were not allowed out after 10 o'clock. They said, how did you do it? How did you achieve it against such great odds? He said, nothing can resist the will of a people that will stake even their existence on the extent of their purpose for good. That when you have a made-up mind, when you decide that you want to do something, I was reading something the other day, he said the power to hold on in spite of everything, the power to endure, this is the winner's quality. The hunger, the ability to face defeat again and again without giving up. This is a winner's quality. You have that quality within you. When you're hungry, you don't care about the facts. You don't care about the odds. Doug Williams played for the Washington Redskins, quarterback. John Elway of the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. Everybody was talking about Elway, Elway. After the Super Bowl, when Doug Williams made a historic passing game, they asked him, said, how were you able, in spite of all of the negative publicity saying that you couldn't win, how did you do it? He said, I ignored my critics. I just didn't pay any attention to them. I ignored myself because they kept on saying it so much. There were times I doubted whether or not I can do what I needed to do. There's a Doug Williams and everybody here. There's greatness in you. And you've got to learn how to tune out the critics outside and the critic inside. And since I'm going to do this, I'm going to harness my will. And I'm not going to let anything stop me. I deserve this. I'm going to do it until.
Your better future is a dream for yourself and for your family. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? You've got to dream dreams. There's a Bible phrase that says, without dreams and visions, people perish. You've got to have something to go for that inspires the heart and the soul. Dreams.
I was on a mission, on a very specific quest. You know, it was bigger than just wanting to be a musician or do movies. It was about finally showing the world what Scott can do. So I had this fire. I had this fire to pursue this musical career. Life will throw you a ton of curveballs. It's scary, but like if you believe, man, you know, if you believe. If you want it, and if you want to work hard enough for it, it can be so.
One of the things I have realized, and many of us have, that if you want something out of life, if you want to change yourself, if you want to acquire something, if there's some goal that you want to reach, that it's really not easy as some people will make us feel. That living your dream, changing your behaviors, overcoming negative habits, it's challenging. It's hard. That living alone is just very difficult. And once we begin to come to grips with the fact that living is difficult, always something, you will never ever have a problem-free moment in life. Many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity.
ourselves too thin, don't know how to say no. And we find ourselves doing all kinds of things and never ever have time to do those things that we need to do to work on ourselves. And then there goes a second, there goes another second, there goes another second, and we can't stop and hold time. And before you know it, you wake up one day and you're behind in your dreams and your bills.
You have to midnight to dump out all jealousy, all pettiness, all unforgiveness, all strife, all malice, all confusion, all blaming other people for your mistake. You got till midnight to get rid of every poison that's hindering you. Woe be unto you if you go into another year and waste another year with the old mentality while somebody's in the hospital begging God for the opportunity that you have right now. You better step into this moment.
Don't just talk about your grind. Don't just talk about how much you this and that. Show me. So when you're challenged by life, what are you going to do? When you feel like you're at your lowest point in life, will you throw in the towel? Or will you make the move to make it?
I took up golf recently. I never play this game. Old man's game, never do it. But my kids play, so I want to play with them. So I go out, and I do really well. I go out on this one day, and I out-power by my instructor. I'm feeling really proud. The next day, I'm not feeling so proud. I keep putting the ball in the water again. I'm so frustrated. Put down another one. Put down another one. I don't care. I don't care what my score is. Let's do it. And finally, I was getting frustrated. And he's going things like, ain't it a bitch? This is golf. And I'm going, bull. I said, you're a terrible instructor. I said, I know I'm not Tiger Woods, but I should be able to be consistent. And you're just telling me it's difficult. Telling me it's difficult is not helping. Tell me what to do. He said, well, actually, you're only a little bit off. I said, could have fooled me. He said, no, you're about a millimeter or two off. I said, you're joking. He said, no, watch this. He said, I didn't teach you this yet. He said, when you approach the ball like this, he said, if you change the angle that you're attacking is just 1 or 2 millimeters. In the very beginning, you see how that changes the arc? This one, instead of being on the green, by 1 millimeter, now you're in the water. 1 millimeter over here, you're in the sand. And he said, and also you're hitting the ground by 1 millimeter sometimes. You're not stroking it, just 1 millimeter. I thought, what a great belief system that when all hell's breaking loose and nothing's working, that you're only 1 millimeter off. Because most people think it's impossible, so they give up. Isn't that true?
I'm going to tell you something that every successful person has to do, including you. Believe it or not, every successful person in this world has jumped. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Eventually, you are going to have to jump. You cannot just exist in this life. You have got to try to live. If you're waking up thinking that there's got to be more to your life than it is, man, believe that it is. Believe in your heart of hearts that it is. But to get to that life, you're going to have to jump. I'll tell you why I call it jumping. See, God, when He created all of us, He gave every last one of us a gift at birth. He never created a soul without endowing them with a gift. You just got to quit looking at gifts as running, jumping, singing, dance. It's more than that. If you know how to network, you can connect dots, draw, you teach. Some of y'all fry chicken better than anybody else, bake pie. Some of you cut hair, color hair. You've got to identify that gift. Now listen to me. When you see people in life, when you're standing on the cliff of life, when you see people soaring by, you see people soaring, going to exotic places, you hear about them doing wonderful things. Maybe you look up the street and your neighbor just gets a car every year, every 2 years. You know, how is he doing that? Have you ever thought, maybe this person right here has identified their gift and is living in that gift? Before you die, jump. Just jump one time.
My dreams don't live down there. That's what my granddad used to tell me. When I used to walk in them projects, I look down and I see crack needles. I see bullets. I see blood stains. But when I looked in the sky, I saw my dreams. I saw my opportunity. When I would go to school, they would tell me I was too dumb. They told me I'd be like my father, like my family, selling dope, going to the penitentiary, never seeing what the real world would be. See, I was a kid, couldn't read till he was 16, but my dream was bigger than my reality. I'm telling you, young king, keep fighting because your life depends on it. Just like when you get hit with that bullet and your boy is telling you don't stop breathing, don't stop fighting. You still got life to live. Because if you lay there in your pool of blood, you're gonna die there. Young king, learn how to fight for your purpose and not the money.
You know what's so funny? We want people to make guarantees to us, but we're not willing to make guarantees to ourselves. Now, I'm gonna say it again. Like somebody gave you a guarantee, $30, 30-day guarantee. In 30 days, if you don't make what they told you you're gonna make, in 30 days you got an attitude, you want your money back. But you never demanded your money back from yourself. You never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you down. Until you get to that point, you let you down. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time. I'm not going to work on time. I'm not putting in 120% when I'm at work. I let me down.
A lot of people say, oh, I just want to they're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves. And the real way to do it is you got to write down what the fuck you want and then go after it. Because otherwise you live in sort of a wishy-washy world. You know, if you decide, I'm going to get down to bang, I'm going to do this. What I tell people is the best advice I've ever heard, it's the best advice I ever came up with, is that live your life like you're the hero in your movie.
Resolve. Resolve says I will, two of the most powerful words in the language. Benjamin Disraeli said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake its existence on its purpose. Shortly put, I'll do it or die. Best definition of resolve I got from a little junior high girl, Foster City, California. I'm going through some words one day. I got to this one and I asked the kids, who can tell me what resolve means? Some didn't know, some tried. Interesting. The last one was the best. Little girl about 3 rows back, she said, I think I know, Mr. Owen. I said, what? She said, I think resolve means promising yourself you will never give up. I said, that's the best I've ever heard.
What makes you such a good fighter?
It's in my head 24/7. There's nothing else I can think of. I don't think about nothing else. Everything I do in my life is related to this. I don't do nothing else if it's not got to do with fight. You know what I mean? That is why, you know what I mean? To be true, that's what all you gotta do is show up.
Is that unhealthy?
To me, what's unhealthy is living an unhealthy life. To me, what's unhealthy is getting up and going through the same day every day of your life, 9 to 5 in an office or in a. That's unhealthy. That beats your mind. I don't work. I love what I do, and that's why I'm doing what I love. You know what I mean? That's why it's become a career for me, because I love it. I love what I do. So I don't think it's unhealthy. I feel good in my mind. I mean, it's my life.
I have a very strong belief that everything that comes into your life is supposed to, and every condition of your life is part of the perfection of it, and that there's a blessing in all of it, and that there are no accidents, that it's a perfect, absolutely, totally perfect universe. Everybody that you meet for a reason. Everybody you're sitting next to, you're there for a reason. You can either take advantage of it or not. You have choices to make throughout it all. At the same moment, there's an opportunity in it, and I never look back with anything but gratitude. for all that was handed to me, because I learned firsthand as a very young boy how to be self-reliant, how to take responsibility for myself, how not to blame other people for it, and to find something positive in it, and always did.
A definite purpose must be accompanied by a definite plan for its attainment, followed by appropriate action. Now, you have to have a purpose, you have to have a plan, and you have to start putting that plan into action. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not too important that your plan be sound. It is, in fact, it's not too important. Because if you find that you've adopted a plan that's not sound, that's not working, you can always change. You can modify your plan. But it is very important that you be definite about what it is you're going after, what your purpose is.
I spent the first 25 years of my life like a spectator, watching other people get successful and then wondering why I wasn't. Success is your duty. It is your obligation and your responsibility.
I love living. I think that's infectious. It's something that you can't fake.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
No.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I mean, I'd have to be dead or pretty incapacitated.
There's nothing more pitiful in my mind than the person who wastes his life running from one thing to another, forever looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and never staying with one thing long enough to find it. No matter what your goal may be, perhaps the road to it can be found in the very thing in which you're now engaged.
Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Now, fear is going to be a player in your life. You get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here. And the decisions we make in this moment, which are based on either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. We really want something possibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. And our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which is that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. Because the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Because everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart. Why not take a chance on faith as well? Not religion, but faith. Not hope, but faith. I don't believe in hope. Hope is a beggar. Hope walks through the fire, and faith leaps over it.
You gonna bring both in?
Yeah, I think so.
Or just maybe the black and white one?
Success, guys, a very, very lonely road, man. Very few people are willing to endure pain, sacrifice.
See you later.
To be successful.